A lot of times when we just release like a word of knowledge, just and say like, hey, I just sense like this is happening, it just releases faith in the atmosphere for that to take place. And another way that just to release faith is just through sharing testimonies. And testimonies are so important. And I'm just reflecting back, like just on some different ministry trips that I've been on. I remember kind of having some downtime when we were in Cuba. I was with my friend Peter Mattis, and we were out for a walk. And like Peter comes back, and there was a guy that had this cataract. His eye was like all like white. And says, hey, can I pray for you? And he prays for this guy, and before his eyes, Peter's eyes, the cataracts in his eyes like totally disappeared. It was like totally obscure, like there wasn't fanfare, there wasn't like this big, but the guy was rocked, and it's like, man, that is so real. Peter can't make that happen. Like, no one can just like conjure that up. But unless you risk and you pray, like, nothing's probably going to happen. I remember, like when we took that team to Colombia, it's been like 3 years ago now. I remember Hudson being so impacted. He went and prayed for a guy he was very frail. He was in a wheelchair, not because he couldn't walk, but because he was just really, really frail. And at the end of the time, like he'd been prayed for by a few people, he gets up and he's like walking around, like totally. He's still like kind of skinny and gaunt and like frail, but he's like weeping and crying because he has like energy he hasn't had before. And Hudson was so radically impacted because Hudson was like, I prayed for that guy, and I was like up walking around, and it was just like so powerful. So anyway, I just sense that in a room like this, there's stuff going on. Every one of us have stuff. I believe the Lord wants to release just some physical healing this morning and just some emotional, just hurting hearts and that sort of thing this morning. So I'm just going to pass the mic along. We're just going to just share the things that you got. And then if that's you, as they say that thing, just kind of raise your hand up, and then we're going to pray all at once after all of those.
So one of the things I was getting was feet, and I know this is kind of a tough one because it could be embarrassing or whatever, but please put your embarrassment aside. There wasn't anything specific. I was thinking maybe we're hearing left big toe, but anything with your feet, also kidneys, and then shoulder pain, either the right or left, but I was feeling more specifically the right shoulder, and endometriosis, which I didn't even know what that was, so I had to look it up. We got that one, and then psoriasis, specifically your right leg, I think it was right leg, or just legs. So that's what I got.
If any of those resonate with you, can you just raise your hand real quick? What? Was that anybody specifically? Anybody know what that was? What's that? There was mumbling something. It's for women. Okay.
All right. I feel like the Lord was the left side of my body, so most of these are all left. But left heel, left knee, just specifically like just pain, or like this morning or last night my left knee was locking. It doesn't normally do that, and then when I got to church it stopped. So figured that might be a word of knowledge. Neck pain, which leads directly to headaches. And I walked in this morning and I got this like shot in my left hip, kind of abdomen area. So left hip, left abdomen. And then this morning, got this picture of something. It looked like it was weeping, almost like it almost looked like honey was coming out of something. But I didn't know if that was like the Lord wanted to heal like a wound that was weeping, like a literal wound, or maybe just a burden that somebody's been carrying for an extended period of time. So.
Does anybody resonate with any of those things specifically? Okay, just shoot your hand up there.
I had right deaf ear or deafness or hard of hearing in your right ear, and injury to your elbows. When you fell, you were doing something and you fell and there's an injury. I feel like it's a right elbow, but you can do either. But also I got intestinal issues, like digestive intestinal issues and thyroid issues. That's messing with like your weight and your sleep and energy levels. So those are the 4 things that I got.
I have a feeling by the time we get to the end of this line, if there's any issue in your body. But I just take inventory. If you're struggling with any of those things specifically, I feel like the Lord highlights those things for a reason, because He wants to release healing. So.
Okay, Andrew and I heard the first word clearly, toes. I believe the Lord, He is concerned about even the smallest part of you.
Who's got toe issues? There's an issue with their toe.
Second thing I'm supposed to explain a little bit. Have you ever had, there's a person that, you know, they should trust you, but for whatever reason they don't trust you. And it kind of hurts a little bit, you know. And we're made in God's image, and you know, I believe the Lord feels the same way. If we don't trust God, it kind of hurts Him a little bit, hurts His heart. And this is worry and fear. Worry is fear, but God's perfect love casts out all fear. And let's see, one more word about that. Got to think just a second, sorry. I guess I'm not supposed to continue. All right, so anyway, fear, worry. The last one is very simple. God says, I want you to live. I want you to live. I believe this is actually for this whole church. And I'd like you to please repeat, I want you to live.
I want you to live.
Okay. This is a word of healing. It's also a word of, for anyone that considering harming themselves. And I believe it's also a word of rescue. And that's why I believe it's for the whole church. I believe it's a season we're in. God's saying, I want you to live. So for this next season, no worry, no fear. You're going to live. You know, it may be, you know, someone's working a dangerous job and something bad happens, but you've already got the promise. God says, I want you to live.
That goes a bit with what I was hearing this week or recently. You've gotten some bad news, bad diagnosis. Something came to you that has caused you to have fear and dread. And the words that were just spoken before, I want you to live. He wants to heal us from our fear and dread over this news. He wants you to live.
Jesus.
So, Joben mentioned cataracts. One of the things that I had written down was spots in the eyes, like float, like things floating. I believe that God wants to heal that. And then this morning I found myself on the way in, I was praying for marriages with people that are close to me. Not that I see any issues with their marriage. I just felt really led to pray this morning for marriages. So I want to extend that out as well. I believe that God wants to not only strengthen marriages today, but that He wants to restore any lost hope in marriages. So if that's you, I believe that God wants to make an impact on your marriage. I had another one up here, but I kind of got something else. Anyone that, you obviously don't have to stand up or raise your hand for this, but anybody struggling with addiction, for those of you that know me, you know, I've had over 3 years of sobriety from alcohol.
God completely released me from religion and addiction at the same time. So, you know, I would just encourage you, you know, you can find me after the service, come up, you know, and I'd be more than happy to pray for you, and, you know, we can bind that stuff up and get rid of that. So, thank you.
That's awesome. Hey, can we just don't go anywhere, but thank these guys for just risking and. This is how I want us to pray. We're going to make opportunity to pray, but one thing I want us to, before we get kind of going and stuff, is as anything shifts, like when we pray for stuff, if something shifts in your body or you just feel like a sense of release from some kind of pain or anything like that, we want to celebrate those testimonies. So it's important that if you're praying for someone and something shifts, like just raise your hand. We just want to just give testimony to that. And things happen, like you pray for people, stuff happens, and they're like, well, that's kind of coincidental. I mean, this happens all the time. There was a customer, we're doing a tree job out in South Eugene, and, pretty well-off guy, has real nice property. We're doing, pruning out this black oak, and he makes mention like, oh yeah, I got this terrible back pain, whatever. I'm like, hey, you okay if I pray for you? And he's like, sure, yeah, and I'm like, no, like right now, I want to pray. God's gonna heal your back, and he's like, I'm like, I'm not gonna be weird. I'm just, I just want to pray. I'm not gonna touch you. I just want to pray for you real quick if that's okay. He's like, sure, So I pray, for his back. Thanks, and he goes to turn and walk away. I say, no, it's how is your back now that we just prayed? Because I just sense that God wants to heal your back. And he's like, actually, it is a bit better, just kind of. And he's like, he's wanting to give it to coincidence or whatever. It's like, man, God is touching your life. Like that is. So just to review, like you had pretty intense back pain. We just prayed, and now it's different. It's shifted. And he's like, yeah, and I'm kind of like trying to just convince him to give glory to God. But it's like it's important to take inventory of before you pray, and then just to take note of things because we want to celebrate what God's doing. We don't want to just like gloss over things. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. So if any of those things just resonate with you, will you just raise your hands? It doesn't have to be everyone. Okay. If that's you, just go ahead and stand up where you're at. This isn't to embarrass you, just so you can get some people on it. Just go ahead and raise your hand up. I understand because everyone's going to stand in a second. We want to be able to see who's doing it. So keep your hand up until someone's with you. We're going to just get a few people now the rest of you are on the ministry team. You're going to be praying. So I want you to just go to someone with their hand up, and all of us up here can go to someone and just ask them, hey, what's your name? And then how can I pray for you? Just briefly, just tell them what you need prayer for. Don't go into your whole life story and how it's since you were 2 years old and yada yada. Just briefly share how they can pray for you. And don't stop praying yet. I'll release you to pray here in just a second.
Nice. Okay, I'll turn it off.